I've spent my whole life trying to be the girl who never causes a problem for anybody, never needs help, never shows that she's struggling or suffering. And up until recently, I've been secretly drowning in all that. Now, if this sounds like you and you hate the way your body feels, this video is for you. And I hope this resonates. If you're someone who has developed this perfect hero persona, where you always have to be strong, you always have to be capable, you always have to have everything under control, everything figured out, you can't ask for help, you can't show anybody that you're struggling, you can't show anybody your weaknesses. That's a survival tactic that you learned most likely as a child in order to stay safe and valuable. I see this in women too, but I see it a lot in men, right? Especially because, they believe their role is to provide and protect, to keep their family safe. And so I see that a man will typically have more difficulty showing that he's struggling with something, because then the hero persona starts to crumble. Now, even though you learned this as a survival tactic as a child, oh, the power just went out again. It's not actually serving you as an adult. You may think that you're in control because you think you're controlling how other people see you and perceive you, but really, it's a cage that you've built for yourself. It's a cage. You have the illusion that you're safe. You have the illusion that you're in control. And if you have this hero persona, you're most likely struggling to tell anyone about how you're feeling, what you're dealing with, the pain, the discomfort, limitations in your body. And if you're sitting alone in this, like I did, I want you to know that you're not alone and that you don't have to do it alone. And I know what this feels like. I remember being 20 years old and I was hiding in my room at my parents' house. I had extreme knee pain in both of my knees. I was wearing 2 knee braces. I had this hero persona thing going on. And so I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't tell my parents I was struggling. I didn't tell my sister. I didn't go to a doctor. Oh no. I was like, okay, I have this thing. I'm going to figure it out. And I tried to figure it out on my own, but nothing helped. And it just got worse. And so I sat there alone in my room, filled with fear, afraid that I'm going to be stuck like this forever. There's nothing anybody can do. Like, this is not normal for me to feel 80 at 20 years old. I remember feeling shame because it didn't align with my identity. I was always the athletic one, the active one in my friend group. I always was on top of my health. And so the fact that I was dealing with this problem, there was so much shame around it. And I also remember feeling like a fraud. Because at the time, I was studying in college for fitness and health to be a fitness coach. And I remember thinking, why would anybody trust me to help them with their bodies when I can't even manage my own? I felt like such a fraud. And maybe you feel like one too. Maybe you're a leader in your company. Maybe you're a business owner. Maybe you're a CEO, managers, anybody. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. And people see you a specific way. They see you the way you want them to see you, right? Because you've poured in so much effort and energy into having them see you as this perfect hero who has it all together. And I know what you really want is to free yourself from it. I know you feel the weight of it. I know you feel stuck, limited. So if you're like me, who refused to tell anybody and you're sitting alone in this pain, you don't need to do it alone. The mask that you're wearing, that you've been wearing your whole life, trying to convince everybody that you have it all together and nothing bothers you and you're untouchable, unbreakable. I know you're afraid of what would happen if you started to let those walls fall down. Because in order to show someone that you're struggling, you're going to first have to admit to yourself that you're not the person that you've been trying to be this whole time. And that kind of realization is very heavy and it's very terrifying. But here's what I want you to know. It doesn't take strength to hide behind a mask your whole life. It takes strength and courage to actually look in the mirror, be honest with yourself, and see the truth of the situation. The truth that you've likely been suppressing. Right? Like, think of all the emotions you've been suppressing. Your body is not working the way you need it to. Maybe you were always the athletic one and life happened and now it feels like shit. Think of all the emotions you're suppressing. Is there fear? What if nothing changes? What if there's no solution out there for me? What if I'm stuck like this forever? Is there shame? I feel so ashamed that whenever my low back pain just comes back up, whatever, that I spaz out on my kids. And they don't understand why, because I can never tell anybody how much I'm struggling. They can never see me as weak. Is there guilt? I feel so guilty that I have to miss out on another hiking trip with my whole family because my knees are hurting way too much. But I'm too afraid to show someone that I'm struggling, so I make up excuses. And again, these are all normal human being experiences, and they're all normal human responses. You're trying to protect something that you truly still believe is keeping you safe. It kept you safe as a child, but it's only keeping you stuck as an adult. I feel guilty that when I come home from work and my toddler is running up to me, I have this moment of hesitation, and the look on my face changes, and my toddler can sense it. Because what I'm really thinking, instead of being present and happy with my toddler, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, if I pick him up, my shoulders are going to start hurting again. Let's acknowledge how much the state of your body is taking away from your life. Being present with your loved ones. Being focused on your career, your work, your business. How much mental space it's occupying, because it's always there. The fears, the limitations, the walking on eggshells, the waking up and never knowing what today's gonna be like. And I know you're used to suppressing it. But in order to change, you need to feel the discomfort of the truth. Feel the discomfort of how much it's taking away from your life. How much it's limiting you. How much pain it's causing you. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. It's leaking into all the areas of your life. Now, here's the truth that most people are not ready to hear. Until you face the truth, you're not going to change. Jesus said, the truth will set you free. Think about it. Your whole life, you're chasing freedom. You want to be physically free. That's why you want to build a body that supports the demands of your life, that doesn't limit you. We want financial freedom, time freedom. We want freedom, but it starts in our minds. It starts with taking the mask off. Because if you never admit to yourself that you're struggling, that you're in pain, that you need help, if you never allow yourself to be like, you know what? I'm not doing okay. I'm not this perfect hero that I make everyone believe I am. That is both terrifying and liberating. Because what you want is not to achieve that perfect persona. What you want and what you've always wanted is to finally give yourself permission to show others who you truly are, that you're human, that you make mistakes, that you struggle, that you don't have it all figured out, that you are who you are, and you want to be loved and accepted for who you are. That's what you really want. But if you choose that path, you have to let go of control because you don't know how people are going to respond. And letting go of control, to many of us, is one of the scariest things. Again, I know what that feels like. I am still learning to unlearn that. And we want to feel certainty. We want to feel safety. So we latch onto the control. So that's why we latch onto this perfect hero persona, because it gives us the illusion that we're in control. That if people see us this way, they will love us, respect us, admire us, look up to us. But think about the downside. The exhaustion, not living your truth, not being authentic, trying to be someone you're not, is actually taking away from your life. It's not giving you genuine connection with the people in your life, with the people that you love. It's a cage. It's an illusion. And it takes strength and courage to let go of that control. And I know how scary it feels. But the truth is, you feel like shit in your body. You don't like all these emotions that you have to suppress just to function every day. You want to tell somebody, but then they would have to see you for who you really are, which is a human. But until you're ready to face the truth, there will be no change. Because again, in the discomfort, there is growth. Growth is uncomfortable, okay? Picture a seed and picture a sprout going through the seed. You are both the seed and the sprout. So of course, you're going to feel the discomfort of the seed stretching and being opened and expanded into growth. Of course, you're going to feel that. And that's why most people don't change. That's why most people are afraid of the truth. That's why most people will spend their whole lives hiding behind these masks, because they prefer short-term comfort over and over again and long-term pain over short-term discomfort and long-term gain. The pain that you are going to feel by removing this mask is temporary. And I'm going all deep into this topic because, there's so much fitness content out there, like, oh, just sign up for this program or do this one exercise or come to my workshop, whatever. But you're sitting alone in your room, hiding. It would take a lot of courage for you to even show up to a consultation call or show up to a webinar or sign up for a program. That is way too much for you right now, and that is okay. They're here selling you all this stuff, and you're like, I'm still busy hiding from the world. And I'm really trying to address and meet you where you are. Because for me, it took a lot of courage and strength to talk to someone about this, to hire my first personal trainer and tell someone what I was going through, and to have the courage that maybe I'm going to be told that there's nothing we can do about this. But I chose to believe that there is a solution. And there was. There always is. We just need to be brave enough to go for it. So for those of you who are still hiding behind these masks, I want you to know that I see you, I hear you, I feel what you're going through. And I want you to remember that if you want to change, if you want your situation to change, it starts by showing your nervous system that you can do things differently and still stay safe. So with that being said, I'm going to leave you with an exercise. We have to work with where you're at. I'm not going to offer you any program. I'm not going to offer you any whatever. It's too big of a jump for you to do right now. And that's okay. You have to honor where you are right now. So here's the exercise I want you to do. This might sound scary, but again, that's the point. It has to be a little bit uncomfortable if you're going to grow through this. So the exercise I want you to do is I want you to tell someone you trust what you're going through, what you're dealing with, what emotions you've been feeling. Now, for some of you, depending how deeply ingrained this hero mask is on, that might be too much. So if it sounds too scary to tell a loved one or a friend or a therapist, write in a journal. You've most likely been suppressing how you're feeling about your situation. You've most likely kind of lost yourself in this whole situation. So bring it back up to the surface. Start slow, get a little bit uncomfortable, and then as you go deeper and deeper. Really uncover the truth about the situation, what you don't like about the state of your body, how you wish your body was. the emotions, right? The fear, the regret, the shame, the guilt. Maybe you feel like a fraud, like I did. Write it all down. Get it out of you and onto paper, or share it with someone. If you want to speak to someone objectively, then I've put a link in the description for you to book a chat with me. Because I know the weight that you've been carrying. And the older you are, sometimes the heavier it is. I know the weight that you've been carrying with this. Always trying to be perfect, showing everyone that you have everything together, everything's under control. That is a lot for one person to carry. And you don't need to carry that at all. And you don't need to carry that alone. Talking to someone, getting it out of you, whether it's with someone or on paper, everything is energy. It's so helpful. Everything is energy, right? And so what you're holding inside, it's just energy. And that energy needs to go somewhere. That's why venting is very good. Talking to someone is very good. Writing it out on paper is very good. Because I want you to be pain-free. I want you to live comfortably in your body. I want you to be able to walk into your work meetings without wondering, is my body going to let me down today? I want you to wake up and not think twice about your body, but actually get excited about what you're doing today. I want you to live without hesitation. I want you to be able to be present with your loved ones and not have this annoying thing in the background. I know what that feels like, because when I had knee pain, it was very like on and off. Sometimes it was sharp, sometimes it was dull, sometimes it disappeared for 3 weeks and then BAM! And then you live your life in a state of like being hyper vigilant. Like, I never know when it's going to show up. I never know how bad it's going to be. And then it just builds and builds and builds. And now that I'm pain-free for, I'm turning 31. Why can't I do math right now? 10 years? I've been pain-free for 10 and a half years. I never think twice about my body. I can do whatever workout I want and not have to think, can I do this? How will my body respond? Nope, I just get on with my day. I can be present with my loved ones. I can do whatever activity or hobby I want. Because my body can do it. I've gotten it to a place where I can just do whatever. And don't you dare hit me with the whole, well, you're only 31, Monica. You're not 60, you're not 70, you're not 80. I've worked with a lot of clients who are seniors. My oldest client was 94? 96? I think 94. The system works when you work the system. And it starts by not hiding behind that mask and not hiding alone in your room with your struggles. So tell somebody, write in your journal, or book a chat with me. Link is in the description. Remember, it doesn't take any strength to hide behind a mask forever. The real strength is in giving yourself permission to be human, to make mistakes, to struggle, to have flaws, to allow yourself to be truly seen the way you are. That takes strength. And only from that place can you truly be free. But you have to be willing to face the truth, because the truth will set you free. So I hope this video resonated with you. I hope you're starting to feel some shifts happening, some weight being lifted off your shoulder, no matter how small. And again, that energy that you've been holding in, find a way to release it. Get it out. If you want to do that with me, book a chat. Link is in the description. I hope this helped, and I will see you in the next one.